Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to ETV's coverage of South Conference boys volleyball. It is springtime, and people are looking at the calendar, thinking about the summertime and graduation ceremonies, but there are spring sports here on ETV, and tonight we've got a dandy for you between the Eagan Wildcats and the Rosemount Irish. It's boys varsity basketball, volleyball. I'm in the basketball court, but it's volleyball. My name is Nathan Cron. I'm joined here with my broadcast partner, Nikki Lemons. And Nikki, we've got a great matchup here between these two teams. Talk a little bit about these two teams and what we can expect tonight.
Oh man, I'm so excited to watch these guys get started again. We've got Noah Wolf as their back row specialist, and he's just been passing the ball really well and setting up the offense. James Martin is one of their strong hitters. Peter McGivern, and then we've got, of course, our setter, Tron. And so, additionally, so many other players. Of course, we've got the middle blocker who, James Eagan, who had numerous blocks over the week. Looking forward to watching these guys all bring it together against Rosemount tonight. Some of the things we're looking at, Rosemount is coming in with a brand new coach. They're coming in at 2-2. Coach just says if they can serve well and pass the ball to get the offense started, that they'll do okay. Eagan's coming in at 5. Last year they played all 5 sets with them, and so it's going to be a pretty good game here, Nathan.
Well, Nikki, it's a matchup between the Wildcats and the Irish. I would imagine that on some level you throw the records out, even in a young season, and it's a rivalry game between these two teams.
Yes, it is. Let's see how it goes here. Floater serve.
Tran with the serve over to Rosemount. Rosemount on the attack. Tran passes over to the far side. Absari puts it into the Rosemount half.
Free ball.
Wildcats setting up for an attack, and there's a big kill from Chibu Absari from the outside. And I imagine if he's going to be given balls like that this evening, Nikki, he's going to convert them.
He went right over the blockers on that one. Very nice. Back set. Cross court out of bounds here by Rosemount's number 5, Paz.
Big guns for the Irish. Cooper George, their captain, number 3, and Isaac Nieves, number 21.
Wild pass.
Dean gets to it and sends it over. And again, the Wildcats with some good offense, and a big kill out there by James Martin, number 11.
An unstable block on the Rosemount side. Not quite getting their hands over the net to get that full block, and it falls on their side.
3-0 now to the Wildcats.
Another nice hit.
Let's see if that one's going to be dug out, and it's not. 4th point in a row here for the Wildcats.
Look at the setting on those. It's a nice quick tempo, and so it's really hard for the blockers to come across that and be able to block with that fast of a, he bumped it that time, past it, but very nice. Very hard to block against those. And out of bounds.
Irish finally do get on the board. We've got a 4-1 score right now in favor of the Wildcats, and so far, Nikki, the Irish not really generating a lot of offense, really not doing a lot in the attacking side of the coin, have they?
No, not yet. We'll see how the passes come back around after this. We don't see that very often by Noah Wolf. His passes are pretty consistent. That was a little off, and that'll happen. Didn't quite get his feet there. There it is. That's a tip kill by Abasari. Almost hits the floor.
Nikki, how important is it for viewers who are just seeing volleyball, maybe, or certainly boys volleyball for the first time, you know, how important is it to be able, if you're an outside hitter, change up your approach and change up your offense?
It's pretty important, especially when the blockers are fully especially when the blockers are effectively blocking. Now, if they're not blocking, you pretty much have open to any of the offense you want to play in that. You can tip, roll, go down the line or cross court with your kills. But if they're effectively blocking, you do want to change it up to accommodate what they're doing. And I'll be watching a little bit closer to see how they do that. Nice recovery.
See if the Irish can get something going on the outside.
Peter McGovern with a block. He read that path well.
Number 21 for the Irish, Isaac Nieves, trying to score on McGivern, but McGivern not having any of it.
No, he got over there fast. He was in the middle too, so that was really great, shuffling over and a big jump.
7-2 in favor of the Wildcats here in this first set.
Nice deep free ball. Peter McGivern again.
Now, we don't have heights listed on the Rosemount Irish roster, Nikki, but I think it's fair to say eye test, the Wildcats seem to have substantially more height.
I agree.
It's certainly going to give them better chances to attack and defend the net.
I agree. It's certainly appearing that way. So serving for Eagan Wildcats, Utley, is that how you would say?
That's right.
Utley? Yes, he went on a little bit of a roll when I watched him play Friday night, and he's got this nice, consistent floater serve, and you can see he just about aced it there. It hit the floor with just one hand on it.
Well, the Wildcats are leading right now in this first set, 9-2. Started out, Nikki, with a run of 4, gave 2 points away to the Irish, and came back with 5 in a row. I kind of get the sense that, watching volleyball, talk a little bit for just a moment as we have 30 seconds here between this part of the set and the next part of the set. Talk a little bit about the importance of runs, because it seems like when a team gets on a run, they want to fire off as many serves as possible to try to continue with that momentum.
Yeah, I think it's just like in any sport, you get into these energy runs, right? And the energy is high and everything's going well. You're in this little zone, and yeah, you definitely want to get in, take advantage of that whenever that happens on either side. And it has to do with positioning a little bit. Like right now, some of their back row is not getting the ball up, just as Coach mentioned for Rosemount in the beginning. That is one of their spots that they're going to make sure that they need to do to be effective tonight.
Other thing that's probably worth mentioning here, the Rosemount Irish list a couple of 8th graders on their team, a big handful of sophomores, lots of juniors and seniors here for this Eagan Wildcat program. I'm sure that's going to make a big difference. I have to imagine that makes a big difference as these two teams lock horns.
Yeah, just kind of getting through the athleticism and growing the extra muscle, and these guys are tall and strong right here for the Eagan Wildcats. We can see how hard it hits the floor right here with Peter McGivern. He held back on that one, but it's fun to watch when he gets a full handle on it.
Sorry, blocks at the net.
Yes.
Irish cannot send it back over.
Absari is having an amazing night blocking and hitting so far. He's really been effective at the net tonight so far from what we've seen. He's been a big key player in the 10 points that Eagan's gotten. A service error by Noah Wolf, that's not super common either that we're seeing so far this year.
Well, as we know with rally scoring, Nikki, you can score points by serving well and attacking well. You can also score points by defending well.
Yep.
Big ace there for the Irish. Nicely done that time by Nieves.
The spin serves like that, Nathan, they are hard to defend. You can see how fast. Let's see if he changes it up to a float serve or if he continues to do these spin serves with this. Yeah, that's very nice, Eagan. Eagan answers well on that one.
Great defense by Wolf, and then the big kill by Absari.
Exceptional. That's how it starts. That initial Noah Wolf with that initial pass just gets that started nice and clean, sets him up. Perfect pass again. And again, a fast tempo set to middle to Eagan. Very. And another great reaction by Eagan there.
Thought for a moment the Irish might have had something going there, Nikki, as that offensively it seemed like they were moving into position to maybe try for a big kill across the net or down the line, but just was not to be. Just too much maybe height at the net for the Wildcats.
Yep, they're blocking very effectively, these guys. Good timing on all their blocks so far, so good. That one went over the blocks. Nice deep free ball by McGivern.
Big attempt on the outside there by Simony. And that's going to be out.
It ended up being out, but still perfect pass by Noah Wolf. Good setup, and then McGivern with the kill, but just slightly out of bounds on that one. So good. Nice teamwork for the Eagan Wildcats.
Simony checking in, Paz checking in. Service now for the Irish from Bussey. Point Wildcats.
Block error.
13-6 right now. First set. And after a couple of big runs early in this match, or excuse me, early in the set, it's really gone very frenetic points for both sides. McGivern's service now comes across.
That was a nice back set to their captain, Cooper George. He is their senior. one of their, well, they've got a couple seniors. And that's exactly who they wanted to get it to as well. Planned out, back set straight to him. Good court awareness by Noah Wolf. He knew the line was to the left of his foot and the ball was to the left of his foot, his shoulder. You just open it up.
When the rally begins, Nikki, what I'm noticing is the Wildcats, the back line for the Wildcats is awfully tight. Nobody has their feet on the sidelines. Everyone seems to have, as the Wildcats score again to make it 14-7. It seems like they're expecting the Irish to try to attack in the middle of the court as opposed to, say, the edges.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. And so far, what we've seen are those kind of like roll over our blocks for the most part. Kind of going center on that. Just like this, right? Well, a little communication error for the Irish on that one.
Timbers and Paz getting together and not quite the way they were hoping for. And you see Cooper George, their senior captain, straightening out a few players, making sure that everybody understands their assignments.
Yeah, we like to call that a campfire when the ball lands between a whole bunch of them. not necessarily a good
campfire.
Good campfire.
Like that.
Not a good campfire.
Paz with the attack. McGivern defense. Martin on the outside.
Nice fake by him.
It's the second time Martin's done that soft touch, and it comes back at the Wildcats. 16-8. Martin might have gone to that soft touch well one too many times.
Yep. It was a good matchup between their captain number 3, Cooper, and our James Martin. Nice back and forth between those two.
Wolf's just going to send that over and let the Irish reset. Good attempt there for a kill on the outside.
Oh, that's nice. Yes. Middle Paquette in the middle block. That's fun.
17-8 first set.
Eagan is doing a great job at timing tonight, whether it's their kills or these short tempoed sets and their blocks, everything, their tempo is just so getting up. It's a lot of timing.
Wildcats not having a chance to attack off of that ball, but now they set up for the defense. Oh, nice play there by Nieves. Nieves with a little touch over the net, finds the floor. The Irish hanging around here in the first set. 18-8, favor of the Wildcats right now. Wildcats have started matches very, very well. First and second sets, they've really outscored their opponents as the Irish put that one out of play. But in third sets and fourth sets, the Irish have really dominated statistically in this young season. So as this game moves forward, an early start here and early victories in the first two sets, Nikki, I think is probably going to be pretty important for the Wildcats.
If you take that statistic along with yesterday, the Wildcats played a long day, and I talked to James Martin before the game, and he said one of their losses, they were just plain tired. And so if Rosemount comes at them with energy rising and we're tiring, that could be dangerous for the Wildcats.
Well, that one's in. It's 20-8, favor of the Wildcats. That was right on the line. That was a great kill by Absari on the right on the line. To my eyes, it almost looked, I thought it might be out. The judge called it in. There was not a major protest from the Irish, although we're going to have a point here for the Wildcats on a two-touch violation from the Irish. (21-8). Jacob Tran serving for the Wildcats, the varsity soccer captain, captaining his second team of the season, of the year, I should say. Tran sends it over and it finds Dean. Nice defense there, but it's going to go out of play.
Nice job trying to keep that ball in play. Not quite succeeding that time, but good hustle.
Wildcats have had several runs, a run of 4, a run of 5, a run of 3. Irish have not been able to string together more than 2 points yet so far in this set. Block at the net, I think that's Paquette.
Nice.
Was. Tran comes from the back line to send it over. Let's see who has some offensive chops here as Nieves puts it in the air. George puts it in the air.
There's Paquette coming center. Oh, little tempo timing off. Still recovered. It's a good volley between these two teams.
This is the best rally, I think, the longest rally we've had all night as Nieves goes up for it. Tries something cute and succeeds. Nice job. Nice job, Isaac Nieves. 22-10. Wildcats ran out of creativity on that one. That was a long rally.
That sure was.
Nice flat service there from Dean, Rowan Dean.
Abasari again with a kill. Cross-court kill, beats the blockers again. I think he's going above the blockers. I'm continuing to watch that. That's not even touching their hands.
So in a situation like that, Nikki, where you've got an outside hitter who's really getting up and over the blockers, what can a middle hitter or an outside blocker do? What can you do there? What can you do to change the angle?
For the blockers, you mean?
Yes, what can the blockers do for defensively?
I mean, if they're not getting up or the tempo's off, I just think either they're jumping too late, you know, and the tempo's off, or they're just not getting high enough, and he's killing it higher, you know. Unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do except maybe, you know, get your taller guys in there.
And here we go. Here's Utley for set point. 24-10 in favor of the Wildcats. Outside, nicely done, and that's going to be out of point Wildcats, and that's going to be the end of the first set. 25-10, the final score of the first set. We're going to take about a 2-minute break, Nikki, and come back with it. But before we do, what thoughts on the first set?
I thought that was really fun to watch, and I think Coach was right when he said the Rosemount Irish are just having a little hard time getting their offense started. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah,
it certainly looked like they were looking for answers, especially in the first half of that first set. Yeah. As the set wore on, it seemed like they had some more consistency and were able to generate some more offense. But we're going to take a break here and step away for 2 minutes, and we'll be back with second set action here from Eagan High School. Boys volleyball between the Rosemount Irish and the Eagan Wildcats. Be right back.
I do have a dog. Her name is Maya. She's a super energetic boxer. But at the fire station, we have Sparky. Sparky's used for our fire prevention events. He'll teach you how to stay safe. Thanks, Sparky.
How do wildfires start?
Wildfires normally start when the weather's hot and dry. Wildfires can start for various reasons. Some of them are natural, like a lightning strike. Sometimes in Eagan, we have wildfires start from trains causing a spark and hitting dry grass. Unfortunately, most of the time wildfires are caused by humans, and that's from leaving a campfire improperly attended or from somebody throwing something out of a car window. Some of the stuff we use to put out wildfire are our brush truck, our brush brooms, and our brush water packs that we can actually carry around into deep areas and spray the wildfires and put them out.
Do you know?
Campus here in Eagan, Minnesota. Boys volleyball between the Rosemount Irish and the Eagan Wildcats. Wildcats won the first set 25-10. Second set action coming up. Again, returning to you, my name is Nathan Cron. I'm here with Nikki Lemons. And Nikki, we've got a good matchup here between these two teams, but right now the Rosemount Irish kind of trying to find themselves a little bit, trying to figure out offensively how to take on what I think is fair to say a longer and perhaps a little more athletic Eagan team.
Yep, and again, Irish coach Mike Dean had said they're still just figuring it out. It's a new sport. Some of the kids are still in soccer, and they're all just learning this and getting their passion and building a team.
Well, one of the most important things you can do whenever you're building a tradition is have quality play that brings credit to your school and to your program. And of course the Wildcats, I think it's fair to say, have done that last couple of years. They've really started to build this up, and watching this tonight, it's very clear to me anyway in my eyes that they certainly have got a number of athletes out here on the floor.
Yes. And a long-term volleyball coach here too that's coached and been a part of the girls program as well. Service error by their captain.
George struggling to get that one over the net. So that one's going to go to the
an actual
other
point
side.
for the Wildcats on that one.
Yep. Point for the Wildcats. Nieves, powerful but long.
Yeah. Kind of imbalanced, a little erratic of a pass again that didn't get the setter a real good opportunity to get a good set off that one. Noah Wolf coming up to serve. Fun to watch him serve. He has the ability to change up his serves from floaters, almost like a knuckleball in baseball, to a spin serve. So let's keep an eye on him.
Offense from the outside. That was Paz trying to get it across, but running into a big wall of Wildcats. 3-0 favor of the Wildcats here early in the second set. Nieves just not able to get a lot of, you could see a little frustration on his face. He's saying, geez, what do I got to do to get by?
Yes.
As Absiri and I think it was also McGivern were blocking.
And Eitan is the middle blocker, and he's hard to get by as well. Nice.
And that's a run of 5-0 to start this second set.
So Noah Wolf in the white uniform here stands out. He doesn't have to check in when he subs in and out. It's just kind of almost like a pinch hitter. In baseball, he has the ability to kind of go in and out as a back row specialist without checking in and out. And you can see he's all over the place. He's a great defensive player for the Eagan Wildcats.
Nieves scores there to get the Irish on the board here in the second set. Irish last match was a 3-set win at against Apple Valley, and they take on Farmington on the 4th of May. And they've got 2 quick points in succession.
Okay.
Irish have some height out there that can match the Wildcats, but they're going to have to step up a little bit.
Rosemount having just a hard time getting over the blockers, and Abasari's coming out now, serving for the Wildcats. Barron, who has a float serve, I believe, as well. That's pretty strong. Ooh.
Great
No,
defense
Wolf
there from Wolf.
Yes. They tried to go over the blockers there, and you can see how that did not work for them.
Well,
it went out of bounds.
Yeah, Nikki, it's a very small window, no question about that. And Barron coming from a renowned Eagan volleyball family.
That's right. A couple sisters.
Her mother was a fantastic collegiate basketball player,
Oh.
if my memory serves. Maybe we'll ask her. I see her down here. Maybe we'll ask her between the second and third set to confirm her history. But I think she might have been an All-American basketball player.
Wow.
Or something like that. As the Irish tagged the Wildcats for a couple of quick points.
Yeah.
Now it's 7-4. Wildcats have definitely got to make sure that they do a good job here of staying focused.
There you go. Very nice timing by Eagan.
Good defense by Dean, and that ball's going to find its way out, but nicely done by Dean after service. Digs that up and gives his teammates at least a chance to try to put that over the net, but it's another point for the Wildcats. And that one's going to find the hardwood as McGivern. Excuse me, that was Barron, sorry. No, it was McGivern. It was McGivern serving.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Way too many dark-haired guys with floppy hair.
Yeah, isn't that right?
Wolf tries to set up the offense.
Very nice.
Sent over by Tran.
No, those tip kills, that counts for a point.
Irish on the attack, nicely done that time.
Oh.
But it finds its way out off of the Wildcats.
James Martin wanted to tip that down the line that time, which is a smart play. It just got a little beyond the line.
Yeah, you see him shaking his head there. He's kind of laughing to himself. I got to get that one next time.
Right on the line.
Service error here on the Irish, and we're going to have a Wildcat serve coming in from Eagan.
I love how Eagan hides himself over there in the corner. When he serves, it kind of changes the scene for them all a little bit. Noah Wolf coming in as that back row specialist. The majority of the back row passes we'd like to come from Noah Wolf, if possible. McGovern, they do a decent job, but there's a reason why he's a back row specialist, a defensive specialist. Captain gets blocked.
Attempt from George there is to no avail, but I noticed Nikki Brody Estes, number 34 for the Irish, checked in. He's got a little bit of height to him.
He does.
And I've noticed he's challenging these Eagan outside hitters and middle blockers at the net. We'll see. I didn't see a whole lot of him, I don't recall, in the first set. So we'll see if he helps tip the balance in favor of the Irish.
Yeah, let's see how he goes against Paquette and James Martins here.
Irish just get it over. Wildcats will go on the attack. And a big kill from the outside from it's James Martin. 13-6. Martin leaving no doubt. No dinking and dunking there as Martin killed that one off. That was going to be a tall order, Nikki, for the Irish to dig up.
It doesn't give him much help when he goes beyond the blockers like that again and again. Another great block. Eagan Wildcats up in net. Strong net game tonight.
Victor Paz for the Irish. Courageous against some much taller opponents, but fearlessly firing that ball into the net. As that one goes out.
Tried to go deep and get it kind of beyond their shoulders, and it kind of can throw off that initial pass, but went a little far again. He's got the right idea in a couple of these plays. It's just not quite landing where he wants it to.
Attack from the outside. Good defense that time by the Irish. See if they can generate some offense. McGivern plays it. That might have been going out. Wildcats will send it across. Let's see what the Irish can do with it. They're going to send it over to the Wildcats. Now it's their turn. Wildcats' turn to attack. And Absiri puts it away.
That was untouched as well.
14-8. Seems like the Wildcats, Nikki, are in a nice rhythm right now.
They sure are, and Abasari is, I think you can go to him as much as you want, and I think the pretty offense can be his as long as it's in the right setting spot. The pass sets up. don't think they're going to be able to block him tonight.
15-8 favor of the Wildcats. Irish looking for answers a little bit. Certainly not giving up. Their body language is still competitive, but at the same time, they just really are being outclassed at the net, Nikki.
Yep. The net play is strong for the Wildcats tonight. Again, Peter McGivern. And assisted by the middle blocker, Cooper Pequet. And I did want to mention Pequet in the last set as well. I didn't mention him enough, but he had a handful of really key blocks and middle hits as well. Very nice.
Wildcats get it back over. A little bit of a ant scramble now for the Wildcats. Oh, big block. Point for the Irish. That was impressive.
That was impressive, especially the back. Well, that was a back set, wasn't it? And they were able to get the block there? Wow.
Timbers with a big kill. Nicely done.
That's the stuff the Irish want to continue to do. Now they've proven it to themselves.
Timbers again. Timbers is in the net that time, I think, Nikki. I think that's the signal from the referee, the official. Unlucky that time. 17-9 in favor of the Wildcats.
Oh, it was right at the 10-foot line. They called him in the net on it. He got a little hungry, maybe.
Point for the Irish. About as elegant a point as you can concede.
Yes.
17-10 favor of the Wildcats. Again, Irish have not been able to string together more than 2 points the entire match. Oh, a nice serve that time off the net. McGivern sends it across, finds Dean. Dean, George. Timbers gets out of the way as Dean pops it over. Big attack from the outside. McGivern dug up that time nicely.
Nice pass. Tip kill, recovered. Keeps the ball in play. Nice job to the Rosemount Wild.
Big rally and a big kill. It's Sibu Absiri.
Eagan Wildcats very excited. The bench is standing up. They're all coming onto the court. What a fun energy in the room tonight.
Big point for the Wildcats. Real disappointment there for the Irish as they had a great effort.
Yes, they sure did.
And unlucky that they're not able to claim a point on that one as well. Timbers off his outstretched flipper. Some bad luck there.
Timbers shaking his head like I can't do any. What am I going to do? He's shaking his head, walking away. I don't know what to do. He's got to try a couple other routes. You know, he'll keep reading them. He'll get the hang of it. These guys are blocking so well.
Absolutely, Nikki. And no, when a team is struggling at the net, as the Irish are right now, to create offenses, as you see Timbers falling into the net there for a point for the Wildcats, it's 20-10. Question for you, and we've got I'm not sure if this is the middle of the set timeout, 30-point timeout. Question for you: when you do have a side that is struggling at the net, being outclassed in terms of middle hitting, attacking, defense, it's really challenging for them. What can they do? What can the Irish do to flip this thing around and make the Wildcats uncomfortable?
I mean, they've got to get stronger at the net with their blocking. I think it's a timing thing. I think they have to be. I mean, we used to practice 1, 2, 3 jump, right? You got to get together the middle blocker and the outside blocker. You've got to cover both lanes. Wildcats are not doing a ton down the line, and so even if they can just focus on that cross court block, get up tall, get their hands over the other side of the net, I would focus on that for now, and then just great passes for their offensive play to get it started. They're doing okay on serving. Coach wanted to make sure that they were getting their serves in for the Rosemount Irish, and they seem to be doing that really well. Their serving looks just fine. All right, Eagan coming out here. 5 points before the victory. That's a nice pass.
Dean gets it up, goes outside to Nieves. Nieves cannot find the in-play court. It's out of play, so it's 21-10.
I think that shot was a little close to the net, and he actually got in the net a bit too on that one.
Brand serve, it's over. Played off by Utley. Big attack on the outside. Another big outside attack from McGivern.
Eagan Wildcats pretty pumped up with that kind of play.
Oh, well, how can you not be? Peter McGivern absolutely not to be stopped on the outside.
Not touched.
That's an absolutely vicious kill. A conversation between the Irish captain and the referee, just getting an explanation, I think, on something. I'm not sure exactly what. Maybe there was a belief that McGivern may have either been under the net, over the net, on the net, something around the net. But in any event, we're ready for service. Brand sends it across.
Yeah, those passes for the Irish, they're having they're not, it just makes it so hard for their setter, and their setter is not quite getting his feet to it. He's running all over the court, and then unfortunately that doesn't give him a strong setup for that kill either.
Yeah, that ball's just falling just too close to the net, isn't it, Nikki?
Yep, and Egan's drooling at that. These guys. Beautiful play by Tron there, keeping that to his hitter. Oh, miscommunication in the back. So what Tron just did there, and he could have tipped that, although he one-handed set it to his middle. That's a very intelligent play, because we know that a kill is going to be stronger than a set, right, or a tip, and most of the time. So that was a very smart play to get the ball on the ground for them.
Set point for the Wildcats. It's 24-10 here in the second set. They're looking to kill this off.
Oh, you don't see that very often.
Peter McGivern can jump a little bit, but apparently he can't jump 12 feet in the air. That ball went up and over his hand. Yeah. Irish now only have 14 points in a row they need to score. Wolf, defense in the back, sets it up. Here's an opportunity for Utley. He's just going to send it across. Nieves outside, just could not get it across the net. And that is the end of the second set. It's 25-11 for the second set. So the Wildcats lead 2-0. Really dominant, Nikki, in both sets.
Yep, same thing we've talked about. It's the net play that's right now just, they're really hurting the Rosemount Irish. Runs of 5, runs of 7. The Wildcats really taking it to the Irish here. What can Rosemount do in this third set, Nikki, to make a dent in this Wildcat offense and defense, for that matter? I'm going to go with their first pass. If anything, it's good. I mean, we know the net play is not quite there to support the Eagan Wildcats' strong hitting, but it's got to start with their offense, rather, with that nice forced pass, the first pass. Okay, we're going to step aside for 2 minutes. We'll be back in 2 minutes with the third set here between the Wildcats and the Irish here on ETV.
Do you know about Positively Eagan? It's a video series by ETV that highlights the good happening in our Eagan community. Stories of people reaching out, giving back, or shining a light on the people who make Eagan great. If you or someone you know has a story to share, we want to hear about it and feature it in Positively Eagan. Visit cityofeagan.com/positively-eagan to submit your story and watch previous episodes.
How far does the water shoot out of the hose?
That's a great question. How far we can spray the water depends on a few things. The size of the hose that we're using, the nozzle, and the pressure that we're pushing the water out the hose. We also have nozzles that are attached to the fire truck and are top of our 100-foot ladder, so we're able to spray water really far and really high. The hand line, the hose line that you see us holding in our hands, can spray easily to the top of your house and even over the house.
How many fires have you put out in a year?
Luckily, in Eagan, we don't have too many fires because of people like you learning about fire prevention and how to be safe. So we only have about 5 to 7 house fires a year. However, we also respond to other fires like dumpster fires, car fires, and brush fires, which can be about 80 a year. On top of our fire calls, we're responding to medical calls, as we're all EMTs too. So we're responding to every medical call within the city.
And welcome back for third set action here between the Rosemount Irish and the Eagan Wildcats here on ETV. I want to give a shout out to our award-winning ETV crew, Josh Sibley, producer, Greg Borman, the director, Connor Filippi, and Mia Pardo on camera. Thanks so much for making us look good and sound good. I'm Nathan Cron here with Nikki Lemons, and Nikki, we've got a third set here where the Wildcats enjoy a 2-0 lead. Wildcats looking very impressive offensively and defensively.
Yes, they are. And Eagan Wildcats are coming in after they won 2, lost 2, I believe, at their tournament yesterday. A 10-hour day they played, and they're coming back strong today, even besides just a long tournament day yesterday. Good job to the Eagan Wildcats.
And Nieves starts it there with a point for the Rosemount Irish off of Jacob Tran's serve. And a little substitution here for the Irish. First lead of the night for the Irish in the third set here, 1-0.
Way to keep the ball in play by the Rosemount Irish.
Great job keeping the ball in play. Better job killing that off for Chibu Absari.
It's like they just climb out and then they get hit again. And still keeping their heads up, proud. Keep fighting for the Rosemount Irish.
Long serve there gives Rosemount a point. Back to the lead, 2-1. And again, we talked about it earlier. Statistically, the Irish, their record this year, total record is 2-2 for games, and the statistics would suggest that as the games wear on, they actually tend to outscore their opponents in later sets. We'll have to see if fatigue becomes an issue here for the Wildcats if they're not able to jump on the Irish here early in this third set.
Yeah, and Coach kind of said that they need to continue to work together and play together, their team, for the Rosemount Irish. And maybe that's just part of their synergies. They get going a couple, and then they start getting things going in their way, and then they start winning a little bit. And that could be part of that just synergy energy that comes together for them. 2-2.
Estes back out on the court. Nieves finds George. Wolf. Oh, that's a beautiful kill.
It was, and again, he rolled that over a little bit.
He did. He did that add curve. It's absolutely brilliant.
Got a strong front row lineup right now for the Eagan Wildcats. There it is. Yep, they're all over it. I mean, they rushed from the right side of the net all the way over to block that one. Again, these guys are up and down the net, moving their feet fast and jumping just perfect timing to get their hands on the net when the ball is going over. That's not easy.
Wolf's service might have been going long, but Dean's going to play it anyway. Comes for Tran.
Nice timing on that again.
Good kill there by Eagan in the middle. And that's 4 in a row. So after a choppy start, the Wildcats jump out to a 5-2 lead. It almost seems like when that ball rallies back and forth, Wildcats have been finding the Irish a little bit out of position, maybe the second or third attack in the rally.
Oh my. So with a fast tempo set like that, those of you guys at home, the hitter's already starting to start their approach, and then they're already starting to jump in the air, and therefore it's the setter's job to just kind of place the ball in the right spot at the right time. This is a very synergetic game on everybody being where they're supposed to be at the right time, the right place in the air. And these Eagan Wildcats have definitely played together, and the setter and hitters look like they're syncing very well together so far tonight.
Wolf not able to come up with that one, and it finds its way into the stands. Might have knocked over somebody's popcorn, but in any event, nicely done by Nieves, scoring for the Irish. It's 6-4. This is as close as the Irish have been late in a set. Little miscommunication there on the Irish. I'm not sure anybody knew who. I'm not sure they were clear on who was attacking.
Yeah, there as well. There was a little You know, Nieves, and now that we look at him, he's one of the players that we're kind of told to keep an eye on for the Rosemount. He's not one of the captains, and so I didn't notice that right away, but now second and third set, I'm starting to see he is really lighting it up for the Wildcats, or for Rosemount Irish. His jump serve is what we just witnessed, is probably one of the best I've seen here.
7-5 in favor of the Wildcats. Rotation here, some substitutions for the Irish. Jump serve is going to be long. As Martin checks back in, Utley will check out. Nieves sets up George. George over, finds Tran. Tran to the outside. Martin dipsy-do. Can't quite get it to drop. Estes attacks at the rim, but big block at the rim. Excuse me, rim. The net. Big block at the net by Brody Estes. There's no rim out there. I'm not sure why I'm saying rim. It's a net.
I mean, there are a few in here.
Yeah. They're not jumping that high.
James Martin, oh man. Cross court. Nice kill by James Martin. Again, the bench stands up, everyone's pumped.
I think it's fair to say that was a kill with emphasis.
It was.
Eitan serving for the Wildcats, ahead 9-6 here in the third set, leading 2 sets 2-0. And an absolute duck that just dies right in front of Bussey. So that would be known as, if for a baseball analogy, that might be the off-speed pitch. Now let's see if the fastball comes flying to the second level. Not sure I call that the fastball, but in any event, it's a point for the Wildcats. 11-6.
That looked like it might have been floating a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to defend against.
Boys volleyball still looking to become a varsity Minnesota State High School League recognized and sanctioned varsity sport. These two programs really trying to help put the South Conference on the map. Good defense there by Tran. Good defense by Timbers. Tran. And in the stands was Baran. But no dice as the Irish claim the point.
Voting is coming up. I believe it's May 9th to become a sanctioned high school sport. I talked to the boys on Friday actually, and they thought that, well, there are a couple exciting things. Funding is one big one, and then actual court time that's reserved for them. But how cool to be able to not, I think the state is in Shakopee currently, but how cool to be playing at maybe the Excel or something like that as well. So lots that goes into that. Right now every penny is funded by the players and the parents. And so it would be nice to see some of that get funded by the school as well.
Sure, absolutely, and of course, with varsity sports status, your booster club gets more visibility. Yep. Broadcasts like this certainly increase the visibility of the program, things of that nature. So, we wish good luck to all of these programs as they push for varsity sanctioned sports status. I guess I'll describe it that way. And right now, the Wildcats are pushing the Irish a little bit. It was nip and tuck for the first 12.5 points of this set, Nikki, but now the Wildcats have scored it out to a 14-7 lead.
Yep. And it's nothing new. They're just kind of taking their reliable and their strengths that they're not really doing much wrong, if I'm being honest, that we're seeing the Eagan Wildcats. There's a couple missed serves, a couple missed digs, but for the most part, they're getting their feet to the places. They're hitting well, they're blocking well, the setting is excellent, the passing as well. It's a really, really successful night for the Eagan Wildcats to be watching. Irish,
on the other hand, they're struggling a little bit. They're obviously playing a team. I think it's fair to say, and again, we talked about this at the at the beginning of the broadcast, Nikki, the Wildcats seem to have substantially more length, maybe a little more athleticism, and of course height and athleticism in this sport, very, very important, never mind skill and communication, but the Irish seem to be kind of really running into a wall, if you will, and so it's going to require them to keep their chins up and keep firing bullets and see what good things can happen for them, right?
Yeah, and I see that they're smiling still, and like you said, they tend to pick up the heat a little bit in the end, and doing great at keeping a positive attitude, and we'll see what they come up with.
Nieves sends it over. McGivern. Oof.
That back set to Abagabi is nearly unstoppable tonight. That is a fun setup to watch. Pretty much anyone in the front row. They're smiling. The Eagan Wildcats are having fun.
Well, it's looking easy, and right now the Irish just don't have an answer for it as George tries to set up his teammate, but it goes out and off.
Let's keep an eye as the Eagan Wildcats hit the ball. Let's watch I've been keeping an eye on the blockers, but for you guys at home, it might be interesting to watch what exactly is going on. A big part of the defense is the blockers up at the net to help the back row dig up the ball. It takes a little bit of pressure off them. So watch right here. They had one blocker up on that one, but it was probably warranted on that one. Let's keep watching. Yeah. We didn't get to see it there, but something to watch for folks at home is, we can dig the ball in the back row, but the defense really starts at the net to help take a little bit of the pressure off, maybe even get the full block in to help defending just based on the hits and trying to figure out where they're going to land, especially with these guys hitting nearly at the 10-foot line. That's asking a lot of your back row players. And continue to watch here.
We'll see if James Martin's hands have gotten any better, and that time, good defense by the Irish, but it does go long. James Martin, last point, was looking at his hands for an extended period, wondering why they had failed him so grievously. But he recovers to put that one over and force the Irish into putting it long off the court. So 17-8 now for the Wildcats. Utley with service.
Great pass by the Irish.
Simony at the net, and I don't honestly. I mean, kudos to the young man for being brave, but he was really climbing a mountain there to be able to try to score a point.
And you did ask at the break, Eagan Wildcats back row is tending to creep on the inside. We haven't seen any evidence of Irish going down the line, and that's probably why.
Another point here for the Wildcats, 19-8. This thing's starting to get away from the Irish. They kept it close early on, but it's starting to get away from them now. Only that time, though, could not get it over. And that's the kind of thing that, as a coach, you say to yourself, okay, we're comfortably comfortable in this game. At the same time, I want to eliminate mental mistakes, mental errors like not getting in service in situations like that. Or am I asking for too much, Nikki?
No, I think you have to continue. Even if you're ahead, I like to play like you're practicing and just take it as a practice round for different stressful situations. I'm one of the proponents of, even when you're up by a lot, to play hard. I don't, I tend to think you can practice special situations in those instances. I think that you can still really do a lot, even when you're up by a lot. Don't let up at all. I wouldn't. Coming from behind here, Abasari looks like it almost tried to go down the line. That's a tough play to get his shoulders squared, and it was deflected a little bit by the Irish, but still got over them.
20-10 favor of the Wildcats. Irish not scoring a ton of points in the second half of this set. Great defense there by the Irish. Nieves at the net. Ooh. And we're going to get either two touches or we're going to get a lift. We're in the net. Okay, so point for the Irish.
Number 21, up here to serve. Here, watch his jump serve. Watch how the spin comes down on his serve. One of the best I've seen yet. Oh, he didn't get on that one. It touched his fingers. He's even shaking his hand a little bit. Oh, shoot. Okay, in the net. They called it a carry. Let's see if he can show us here what I'm talking about. He tapped his finger on that one like it maybe went off his fingertips. That can hurt as well. There he goes. Wow. That is a wicked serve.
Great serve by Nieves. Good attack by McGivern.
I mean, he got under that one. The timing was a little off for Abasiri. Abasiri. And the timing was a little off on that one, but gives the Rosemount Irish and this server another opportunity to play catch up. They're doing a good job.
Wildcats, and that breaks up that 3-point run for the Irish. That was their longest run of the night in terms of points, 3 in a row. They had 5 out of the last 6 points, so it's 21-13 now in favor of the Wildcats. It's closed a little bit. See if the Wildcats, well, they're not going to get it done doing that.
Given a couple points up just by net serves. Something to point out with the Irish while they're doing some subs here, they've been kind of a few times through kind of just sending the ball easy over. You can't do that with the Wildcats because they unfortunately for the Irish is that they're going to get a big kill on it. And you got to make it a little more difficult than an easy pass over.
Yeah, it just lets the Wildcats set up that offense as you saw right there. That was Eagan in the middle. But something nice and easy over, Nikki, just gives the Wildcats it's too easy for them to set up their offense, right?
I would not want it to be on the other side defending against an easy pass over, bump, set, and spike to me, and without blocking right now.
Like everyone's serving at 22-14. Estes blocked at the net.
You know, and Eagan Wildcats again did a nice job. That was a fast set, and so that should have thrown the blockers off a little bit, and it wasn't. Eagan stays with it still and was still able to block that one. Nice job by Eagan on that one.
Give her an across again. A good play on the outside, and that's a big point for the Irish. Nicely done by Victor Paz. Again, Paz, not the tallest player at the net, yet still found a way to get that point for the Irish.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I said instead of height, it'd be fun to see their vertical jump on some of these guys.
Set in the middle by Tron. Eagan could not come up with it. 23-16. Wolf with the defense. Martin down the line, dug up by Neves, over to George. Paz, the poke.
That's a nice block.
Excellent block in the middle that time by Timbers. And another big block from Timbers. Nicely done. That's 3 in a row for the Irish, and now it's 23-17. Nikki, the most points that the Irish have scored in any set, 17, right here in this third set.
Yeah, Egan's looking a little tired, if I'm being honest, as well. Shoot, that one's out of bounds. A point for the Eagan Wildcats. 1 point to 25, and the Eagan Wildcats take this away.
Third set, it is set point and game point, or match point, excuse me. Set point, match point here. Serving will be Eagan for the Wildcats. Irish are really up against it. But that's not going to get it done for the Wildcats. 24-18. Irish captain Cooper George will serve. And Paz puts that out, and that is going to be it. 25-18, your final score here in the third set. And Nikki, impressive for these Wildcats. These Wildcats, very impressive. Irish obviously still have some room to grow. Young team, and certainly will do that as the season moves on. But these Wildcats, if they play like this, coming off a weekend full of volleyball, I imagine when they're well rested, boy, sky's really the limit, isn't it?
Yes, it's going to be fun. When is their next game? I think you had it down.
Yeah, their next game, the Wildcats will be at Burnsville on May 4th. So I'm not sure if Burnsville Access is going to be broadcasting that or not. Check local listings for game time, but it will be at 7 o'clock in Burnsville on the 4th. And so the Wildcats hold serve tonight, so to speak, winning 3-0. And Nikki, last thoughts as we watch these guys head off the court.
I think just an excellent game and a way for the Irish to keep their head up and rebuilding year, new coach, a bunch of younger players. Congrats to them for keeping their head up, and also to the Wildcats for just a stellar game all around.
Well, the Wildcats win 3-0, scores of 25-10, 25-11, and 25-18. Thank you to all of you for joining us here on ETV. My name is Nathan Cron, for my broadcast partner, Nikki Lemons, and our award-winning ETV crew. Thanks for joining us here on ETV. So long, everybody.